Hi guys, welcome to this video. My name is Anela and I'm the owner of Maine Brow and Lash. And in this video I would like to explain to my clients what the difference is between microblading and microshading and what I would recommend for who to get what. Microblading versus microshading. Microshading has different terms to it. There's ombre brow, there is powder brow, or microshading brow. They're all pretty much the same thing, just slightly different little techniques, but the same tool is used to create those brows. So when I say microblading, microshading, powder brow, it's all pretty much the same technique. So let's start with microblading. Microblading is created with a manual tool which looks like this. It's a manual tool with tiny little needles in a row, and this tool I use for manual shading, and this tool I would use for brow strokes. So what this will look like, I have an example over here and I will pop the picture if it doesn't show well. So there are a little bit little hair strokes that I would create with this tool to mimic your hair strokes like that. So that goes your epidermis, slightly touching the dermis, so doesn't go as deep. The microblading can last anywhere between 1 to 2 years, all depends on your skin type and skincare routine. Annual touch-ups are recommended for microblading. Microblading brows look very natural. Now, microblading is not recommended for oily skin type or even oily T-zone. Any oils on your skin does break off the ink and blurs off those little strokes. Microblading is a little bit more invasive than microshading that I will talk about very soon. It's not the best recommendation for very mature skin because it can be a little bit more invasive. People with oilier skin tend to need more frequent touch-ups, about 6 months sometimes a year, and individuals that use strong exfoliants on the skin or anti-aging creams or retinol, they tend to exfoliate the skin faster. There's a faster skin turnout, therefore the brows will fade a little quicker and more frequent touch-ups will be recommended. Now let's talk about micro shading or powder brow or ombre brow. So that is created with a machine versus a manual tool. So this is what the machine looks like. It looks a little dirty because I'm using this needle for my practice pads, and I will show you some examples. So this is what micro shading looks like. It gives it more of a powdery look. It looks like you use brow powder and you placed it on your brow. So it's very soft and very natural. It's actually one of my favorite looks for brows. I just like that softness of micro shading. Now with micro shading you can create more denser look. It will look like more like a brow pencil versus a powder on your brows. This is actually what I have right now. My micro shading that has been created was added a lot of layers to it to make it very dense, just because I wear a lot of makeup. Therefore, I requested more of a denser look. Individuals that don't wear daily makeup and are very natural, I would recommend for them a little bit of a softer powder brow look. So all of that will be determined on your consultation. Microshading can be used on all skin types, so that's great for early skin clients. For more mature skin clients, it's gentler. It gets in a little bit deeper into the skin because the needles are a little finer. It takes a little extra time than microblading. So for the microshading, it takes extra time to complete, but the results can last longer than microblading, about a year longer, I would say. Now again, every skin type, every individual skincare routine, everything will depend on that, how long the brows would last. But overall, microshading does last longer than microblading, and it works on all skin types. So now that's the difference between microblading and microshading. Microblading, it's more hair strokes. Microshading is more like a shaded brow look. Now let's confuse a little further. Now we have combination brows. Combination brows or combo brows, it's a combination of both, where I as the artist would draw some hair strokes on your brows and then I'll add a shading tool to shade it in, so you'll have that both effect. You'll have the microblading and microshading kind of look on your brows, and that tends to be the most popular look. Everyone likes the way they come out, and it gives it a very beautiful brow finish because you'll see this little hair strokes and you have this little shaded look. So that's a very popular brow, but it's basically a combination of both techniques used at once. Now with all the different brow techniques, microblading, microshading, combo brows, They all can be tweaked and adjusted to look more natural or more dramatic. All depends what the preference of the client is, color ink we use. So they're all fairly adjustable to fit your needs. I hope that answers your questions regarding the microblading, microshading, and combination brows. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a wonderful day.